Welcome to the Explainer. Think about it. Your name, your passwords, your entire digital life. It's all living inside countless different systems. We just, trust that they're safe. But what actually enforces that safety? It turns out it's not just about good practice, it's often a set of very specific, legally binding rules. Today, we're going to deconstruct the official cyber mandate in Thailand to see how the law actually works to protect your data. So, what does it really take? You might think, I've got a strong password, I use a firewall, I'm good. And yeah, those things help for sure. But the real answer is often way more complex and a whole lot more official. And here's the thing. In many countries, and especially in places like Thailand, securing digital information isn't just a suggestion, it's literally the law. And once you understand this legal framework, you can really see how your digital life is actually supposed to be protected. So let's start at the very top. Okay, Section 1, a new security mandate. This is the bedrock. This is the foundation where the government steps in and sets the rules for everyone. The whole story of digital protection in Thailand really kicks off right here with the Cybersecurity Act of 2019. You can think of this one law as the cornerstone for the entire national strategy. It's designed to prevent and handle cyber threats for the whole country.
So we have this big, important law. But how does a law on paper actually get turned into real-world action? Well, that brings us to Section 2, Thailand's cyber framework.
It all works through a clear chain of authority. It's like a domino effect. First, the act itself creates the legal power. Second, it gives a national agency the job of setting the specific, non-negotiable standards. And third, any organization that's deemed critical has absolutely no choice but to comply. It's a direct line from a national law right down to how your personal user account is managed. And the main character in this story is the National Cybersecurity Agency, or NCSA. In Thai, it's called the So-Ka Ma Cha, pronounced Sorkar Marcha. This is the government body that takes that big law and translates it into specific, enforceable rules. They're both the rule makers and the referees. All right, Section 3, calculating the risk. Now, this part is absolutely crucial. The NCSIA doesn't just say, everybody do this. They know that not all systems are created equal, so their approach isn't one size fits all. Everything is based on risk.
So how do they figure out that risk? They use a classic model called the CIA triad. It's pretty simple. First, there's confidentiality, which is just about keeping secrets secret. Then integrity, making sure the data is accurate and nobody's tampered with it. And finally, availability, which means the system is actually online and working when you need to use it. Now, here's the kicker. The system's final security level isn't some kind of average of those three things. Nope, it's decided by the single highest impact rating. So you could have low risk on two of them, but if just one is rated high risk, then guess what? The whole system is considered high risk and has to follow the toughest rules. And this is the real game changer. Tucked away in the official guidance is this one little rule. It says that any system that handles personal data, so any system with user accounts, must have its confidentiality rated as at least medium. Just like that. That one line automatically means any service you log into is, by law, at least a medium-risk system. And that sets off a whole chain of requirements.
Okay, so now we know why a system gets that medium-risk label. So, what does that actually mean? What are the specific rules you have to follow? Let's get into the what. Section 4, the 4 key controls.
First up, control number 1, password complexity. This is your first line of defense, right? And as you can probably guess, the official requirements for it have gotten a lot stronger. Just look at this jump. An older, weaker standard might have been okay with just 8 characters. Not anymore. For a medium-risk system, the mandate is a minimum of 12 characters. And you've got to use 4 different types: uppercase letters, lowercase, numbers, and special symbols. That makes a password exponentially harder for anyone to brute force crack.
Okay, control number 2. This adds a seriously powerful second layer of defense. We're talking about multi-factor authentication, or, as you've probably seen it, MFA.
So what even is MFA? It's simply about proving it's you in more than one way. It's not just about something you know, like your password.
It's also about something you have, like a temporary code that gets sent to your phone. For a medium-risk system, this isn't optional. It's not a nice-to-have feature. It is mandatory for every single user, period.
Control number 3 is all about the life of a password. It covers how long they can last, and more importantly, it makes sure you can't just keep recycling your old favorite passwords over and over. And look, here's another huge leap in security. A weaker system might only remember your last 3 passwords, but the NCSA-compliant rule for a medium-risk system is 4 times stricter. The system has to remember and block you from reusing any of your last 12 passwords. So no more cycling through the same few. The password's life cycle is also super tightly managed. It has to expire every 90 days. You get automated warnings before it does, and if you don't change it in time, your account gets locked automatically. This just drastically limits the window of time that a stolen password could ever be useful to a hacker. And the final key control, number 4, goes after a huge, often overlooked vulnerability: inactive accounts. Those old accounts you made years ago and forgot about, they're a security risk just sitting there. So there's an automated process for getting rid of them. The process is simple and it's all automated. If you don't log in for 60 days straight, your account is automatically suspended. If another 90 days go by after that and you're still inactive, it's not just locked, it's permanently deleted. It's like mandatory digital housekeeping to shrink the system's attack surface. All right, final section: putting policy into practice. We've seen the law, the risk assessment, and the 4 big controls. Now let's just connect all the dots and bring it home. So this really brings it all together. The 12-character passwords, the mandatory MFA for everybody, the strict 12 password history, deleting those old inactive accounts, none of this is random. Every single one of these rules is a direct result of that one classification. Because the system handles your personal data, it must be secured to a medium level by law. We've just deconstructed the rulebook for one single system. But your data, it lives in dozens, maybe hundreds of systems just like it. And that leads to a final, pretty important question to think about. Are they all following the law? Thanks for watching The Explainer.